On the Healthy Human Revolution podcast, Dr. Lori Marbas interviews nutrition and lifestyle medicine experts and extraordinary guests whose informative and inspiring stories will empower you with the knowledge to transform your life and health.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Dr. Lori Marbas. And before we get started with our amazing guest today, I do want to share some exciting news. I've decided to partner with Blueberry Health, and it's an entity that's very passionate about me, about sharing resources and tools and helping people adopt a healthy plant-based diet. And so there will be more to come. So stay tuned over the next few weeks as we talk about that partnership and how it's going to grow. So today's guest is Hailey Swartz from Actual Veggies, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, this is really cool. So, before we got started, I was just mentioning how I even came across Actual Veggies was a friend of mine who's a doctor in California. He's like, wow, look at this on Instagram. And I was like, what is that? It looks quite delicious. And so I looked around here, and I know they're coming to our area. But I went online and ordered them because I was so desperate to try them, because I'm always looking for, one, just healthier food for us here at home. It's easier to cook, but also for patients. And oh my goodness, guys, I'm on my fourth order. Let me see. It's been like weekly. It's the fourth order actually. So, and people who know my story is like, this family can eat food. And we only eat it if it's delicious. So thank you for this creation. So let's start with your story. And can you tell me a little bit about you and your journey to maybe even being focused in a plant-based lifestyle first, and then we can kind of see how Actual Veggies evolved.
Sure. So we started this company in March 2020. And the reason we did this is because my co-founder, Jason, had stopped eating meat for health reasons in November 2019. And he basically went to the grocery store and was looking to replace his favorite food, the meat burger. And he at first started eating a lot of like the Impossibles, the Beyonds of the world, and realized quickly that while they might have tasted good, they weren't actually that good for you. And then on the other side, he realized that there wasn't a way to get a restaurant style veggie burger at the grocery store. You can have a really delightful, enjoyable experience around the veggie burger, but that doesn't really exist in the grocery store. You see these like flat, like hockey pucks kinds of things that you find in the freezer that aren't really that appetizing, but also really actually aren't that good for you either. There's also oftentimes a lot of fillers and preservatives in them, and it just doesn't feel like a substantial meal. So we joined together. It was actually March 2020, which is crazy because it's right during COVID, to create beautiful, naturally colorful, filling veggie burgers, something that you can have a delightful experience around eating and feel really good about yourself. And unlike a lot of the trends out there right now, it's really about celebrating the veggies that are in each of our burgers versus masking them to taste like fake meat. So since we started in March 2020, we launched with these 4 colorful veggie burgers that each taste like their primary ingredient.
Yes, they do. So the black bean and the orange one are delicious. Those are the ones I've tried so far, because it's the ones I could get in a little bit bulk, because I have 3 kids. They're all adults. One's a physician in Boston. And then my 2 boys are at home as they're growing their own businesses and just finishing college and stuff. And so I have 3 men in this house eating these veggie burgers. So guys, these are 1/4 pound of vegetable, the ingredients are vegetables and beans. So I'm amazed at how tasty you can make these and so filling. What was the process like to bring this to life? Because we also launched plant-based telehealth in March 2020. We actually turned 2 on March 23rd. So telehealth company.
We almost shared the same birthday.
Is yours March 23rd as well?
We say it's March 22nd.
Okay.
It's a little more was gradual, but yeah, that was the date that we stuck on.
That's incredible.
So sorry, your question being
was basically so looking at the veggie burger, right? So I've been plant-based for 10 years and just figuring out how to cook all the different meals. And like, you're right, I didn't want to substitute, trying to look for the same taste and texture. I was looking like, how can I make these vegetables taste good? That's kind of the whole point of a plant-based diet.
Yep.
But how did you start that process? Like, who do you go to and who do you, I mean, was there restaurant experience in your background? Like, what
Sure.
is that like? Wow.
Yeah, so we brought one of our founders on our team, our founding members is a chef.
Okay.
We worked with him. We found some recipes online that sounded interesting to us, and we really had some like core components, which was one, not to use any oils or fillers or preservatives, and only veggies and beans. The other thing was that we wanted them to be colorful. So that was really important to us. And then the third thing that was important is that we wanted people to be able to thaw them out and cook them versus just cook them from frozen. And what that process looked like, it actually took a really long time to make sure that they can stay bound together, because even if they tasted good, when your food falls, when a food from grocery store falls apart, people get a little icked out by it. So it was the process of figuring out a way to have it bind together, which we ended up using cassava flour for, really did take a long time to make it work. And working with the chef, working with some R&D folks who were really good at translating a home cooked recipe into a recipe that can be manufactured, really helped us get there. But it was a 6-month process.
Wow. So you worked on this in 2019 for 6
No,
months?
So 2020 is when we started working on it. We could
okay.
consider our launch date January 2021.
Gotcha. And yeah, so I know the big part when people mention cooking veggie burgers at home is they just fall apart, they're squishy. But the nice thing too, I like about your website is that you have these recipes. So even before I was like salivating at the thought of eating them. So that was really cool. And then I was looking at your recipes and I was like, oh my goodness, there's wraps, there's all these different things you can do with them. So yes, because you had like the veggie balls and all the different things. So yeah, thawing them out, and they have enough of a texture that they will stay, and then put them in the oven. At least that's what I do. And that worked out really, really well. The wrap was really quite delicious. So
that's awesome that you're trying our recipes. Yeah, we keep on coming up with new recipes. It's so much fun. Our interns this week made hummus with the actual green burger. So
really,
yeah. And I can't remember the recipe. I actually think it's probably on our TikTok of all places, but it will be on our website at one point. We also have a Pinterest board that we put all of our recipes on. But yeah, we're getting creative and trying to have a lot of fun. Like she made dumplings with them, like sushi.
Oh, wow.
It's just like everything and anything. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is I think these would be great for kids because they are colorful, they're tasty. It's just such an incredible starting point, even if you just want the veggie burger, or you crumble it on your salad, you make the wrap, you do the hummus, you do the veggie balls. So that is it's really giving people the opportunity. They don't have to worry about how to make it stick together or taste good. You fit it, but then they can use their creations in all the other things that they've done, which is just really amazing.
Exactly.
So tell me, have you always been an entrepreneur? Like, how did this start? I mean, how did you meet the co-founder? And because this really is quite intriguing. It just as running this business on our own as well as.
Yeah, no, it's so I've gone in and out of the corporate world. I started my career at AOL actually, and then I had most recently worked on a team that helped Alibaba launch in the US. And when I was working for Alibaba, I was working with a lot of entrepreneurs who were working with suppliers in China. And I was talking to entrepreneurs all day. I was learning about their process for both working with suppliers in China and just launching a product and putting it out there. And the one thing that was really obvious is they were all having a lot of fun. And it became something that I wanted a part of. Like I had always been more on the tech side and everything, but I wanted to build a physical product. I'm really health conscious and think about what I'm eating. So when Jason came to me with this idea, it seemed really awesome. It seemed too obvious, to be honest, at first. Like I was like, this doesn't really, there has to be a reason it doesn't exist. Like, how is there not a good veggie burger in the grocery store? They exist on restaurant menus. And but when the opportunity seemed, I pretty much jumped at the opportunity. And really since the first day, it's been quite exciting. I think having partners in the entrepreneurial journey, my brother is also, so basically Jason brought me in, and then I wanted my brother to be part of it as well. So the three of us work together. We're all co-founders. It's been really nice having a team to start this with. So instead of being by myself and like sort of having to deal with all the ups and downs alone, it's really like Jason's become family, just like my brother, and we're on the phone all day together, making decisions together and sort of weathering the storms and celebrating the good. And that's been a really awesome part of the journey.
Wow. Yeah. So the team also, so you also have, so you have your core team, but what other parts of your team should an entrepreneur, even in the space of plant-based eating or otherwise, what would be some of the lessons that you feel are important to share with others who are thinking about, this is missing in this space to grow this even further?
Yeah. I mean, I think make sure it's missing the product. The space is really crowded, and CPG is a really hard space to be in. So, people, I think it's important to not get like stuck to your own ideas. You also, I think at the end of the day, the product has to taste good. So like, as important people place on health, if a product doesn't taste good, they're not going to eat it. So that's really important. But yeah, understanding the competitive landscape. So it's like both creating a product that's needed and also look for a market that wants it, because like that it's important to have that product market fit. And that's something that we definitely stumbled on. We knew that more and more people were eating more plants, and we knew the number one reason they were doing this was for health. Environmental was number two. And yet most options out there focused on the environmental impact and not the health impact. So we really tried to target both of those things.
Yeah, so I really feel like it's almost, in my experience, just as a physician, so I get a variety of people. So I get those who are healthy plant-based eaters. They want to make sure they're not missing anything in their nutrient, their diet, blah, blah, blah. They're usually like, see you next year. They're doing great. And then I have those who are reversing diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, want weight loss, all these other things, autoimmune disease. And so they're starting this journey and they're really looking for this type of product. And so for me to be able to, as a physician, be able to really write my prescription as food as medicine, it's really nice to have real core products that I feel very comfortable with, that them eating or any of my family. Because, you think about your patient's health, you want to make the decision easy for them. So that's really exciting. So thank you for going through all the work and bringing this to market. As far as when you look at the veggie burger in like your core four, and then you have these breakfast patties, they've been out of stock. So I've been waiting for them to come back on. I've been waiting for them to come back on the available to order. So those are great. So would you guys just stick to your core mission, or are there other things that you guys are thinking of growing and venturing into?
Yeah, so I definitely think we'll continue to expand our line of burgers. So like you said, we're coming out with these breakfast. We just came out with these breakfast burgers. So you on the one that's launched is the actual blue breakfast burger, which is made with blueberry. It's made with acai, blue spirulina, cauliflower, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds. It's quite banana and plantain, and there's no added sugars or anything like that, or oils. And what's great about it is it sort of tastes like a smoothie bowl, but it's in a burger shape. It's definitely sweet, which is something that's really cool. And it can be served on bread or just by itself, like a little waffle with some like banana and honey. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's quite unique from what's out there from a breakfast perspective. I think when we think about expanding our product line, it's both going to be seasonal burgers. during the different seasons. And then also we are going to be building out other products that focus on incorporating more veggies in them and eliminating oils and sugar. So the next product is the actual buns that we're creating. So we have a black bean bun, and a sweet potato bun, a spinach bun, and they're really colorful, and a beet bun. So all of those will go really well with the burgers. We just started showing those to buyers last at our trade show last week. So they're at the final ends of R&D, but we're close.
Oh, that's really exciting, because honestly, one of the things that I hear a lot from patients is, that's great, but the bread, like if they do like Ezekiel, it's just like, it's like cardboard.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to toast it to make it kind of palatable.
Exactly.
And yeah, so that is a really interesting challenge. I'm really excited to see on the other end of it what that looks like. But yeah, that would be a great thing for, yeah, I'm just thinking that'll be good. That's definitely one of the complaints. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious also, as far as your co-founder, Jason, what was can you share with the story, like why he was motivated, like how he was introduced to a plant-based diet? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so he had high cholesterol, and so did his grandfather. And that was the issue that led him to eat more plants or go completely plant-based. And yeah, it's definitely, he's seen that his cholesterol has gone down since then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the most dramatic drop I've seen is 120 points in 30 days.
It's insane. That's insane.
It's like, it's what's fun about doing this and working with patients is like, on commercials for drugs, they're like listing there's at least half the commercial is listing the potential things like death and, losing limbs or whatever. So, but then there's, it's like if we had a plant-based, excuse me, commercial, it'd be like, oh, and side effects will be weight loss, reversing heart disease, dropping.
Yeah, no, it's so important.
Oh my goodness. And these are common stories. This is not just a one-off, this is really deal.
No, it's really inspiring to see.
Absolutely. So I'm curious about the name, because I know when we were coming up with plant-based telehealth's name, or even Health Human Revolution, there's a whole story behind that. Would love to know Actual Veggie. I mean, it makes complete sense. And it's like people know what your product is immediately. So how did that evolve?
Yeah. So I think when we think about the beauty of our name is it tells our story, and that's really powerful, to just essentially be able to say, hey, this is exactly what's in our product. And it's a nice juxtaposition when you think about the products that are focusing on tech and like to beyond and impossible, like things that don't really exist. And we're just saying, hey, we're authentic. We are who we are. We're real. We have nothing to hide, and we're actual. So that's, and that's something that's our core value, right? To be exactly who we are. We're not trying to taste like something else. We're trying to taste like veggies. So
that's amazing. So who came up with the name?
Also Jason. I've done some stuff too, but that was Jason.
Yeah, well, I mean, he obviously was thinking like, why don't they have anything that's just actual veggies? I mean, that would be kind of your, what am I saying? Exactly. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. And then as far as your growth, so like, where are you available? Where can people locate you? Like, what does that look like in the landscape of where people can find you?
Yeah, so I think we were just mentioning, we were in Sprouts in the deli section. We're moving to the frozen aisle I think we should be on the shelves there in July, so Sprouts nationwide. But right now, people can find us in Fresh Market, Wegmans, where else can you find us? You can find us on a lot of the online marketplaces. So you can find us on Fresh Direct, Imperfect Foods, Hungryroot, obviously our website, actualveggies.com. And I know I'm missing something. Purple Carrot just started carrying our burger. And I'm sure there's more, but go to our website and check it out.
Yeah, no, I went straight to the website and been ordering the two larger they were been on sale. So I've just been grabbing those. Plus you get more.
That's
more,
great.
more in a box. And I went out of town last week. So they had just got an order in. This is how ridiculous this is. So we just got an order. I had 2 of the bigger boxes. So that's 24 burgers, right? 12 and 12.
Amazing.
And literally I left on Friday morning. I come back Sunday, they're all gone. I'm like, did y'all eat all those already? Seriously?
That's awesome. I love to hear it.
72 hours and 3 men eating 24. Really?
That's insane. That's actually so crazy.
Oh my
That might be one of the more crazy stories that I've heard.
Oh yeah. It's funny when I come home or when I walk in, and Jonathan in my middle, he's 26 and he's just like got 4 of them stacked out, all vegged out. And I'm like, really?
Whoa.
That's so crazy. So anyway,
I think the normal person only needs one.
I need one. I'm a normal, I don't know, but they eat them, but they're trimmed. They're crazy.
Yeah,
so
they're growing.
They're very, they're adults now. They should be fully men, but they've always, I don't know. It's having raised, my daughter's petite, tiny, she ate like a bird. The boys, it's always been an empty well. So eventually I guess it'll stop. So, but, so, but that's awesome. So as far as, any other advice or things you'd like to share with our audience? Because all I can say, guys, is, and you guys know me, I can be very particular about when I'm telling people to eat a plant-based diet is, one, it tastes delicious, it's accessible, they're growing in accessibility, and you won't be disappointed. And I'm really excited about the new product. So from my point is the health side of things, I absolutely put a stamp of approval on it. But what would you like to say to anyone who might be considering ordering?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just wanted to reiterate what you said. First of all, they're super versatile. You can keep them in the freezer. They have a 14-day shelf life in the refrigerator. Do recommend thawing them out before eating them. They're great on a grill, which is really exciting, especially as we get closer to grill season. Air fryer, oven, skillet. And I think what we're most proud about is the convenience, especially, with people working from home right now. It's like an easy, complete, nutritious meal, super filling, and just super excited for people to hear about our brand. So please spread the word. We are a new brand and need people to be advocates for what we're doing. So this is really special. Feel free to reach out to me, Hailey, Hailey, at actualveggies.com if you have any questions. Would love to hear from anyone.
No, actually, because when I ordered, then I got your email. I was like, oh, well, I'm writing back.
Yeah, you did follow up like that way.
So that was fantastic. So, just on a side note, my mind starts going with the air fryer. I was like, ooh, we could actually cut them and make little veggie fries. Okay, now I'm going to try some other stuff as soon as the next order comes in. But that sounds delicious too. Wow. Yeah, the air fryer is great. So thank you. That was another prompt, another recipe. But thank you, Hailey, so much for your time. And
thank you.
Again, thank you for, really, honestly, I don't think I can really tell you how much I appreciate people taking the time and effort and the struggle to really enter a space, especially the food space. And just being an entrepreneur in general, it's like when we launched what we're doing, we were the first to the market. There's no one else doing what we're doing. And so it's hard and exciting, but it's well worth it because there's only benefit that every customer is going to benefit. You're doing good to them and the environment. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Before you go though, please hit the subscribe button and the alert button so you will be notified whenever we upload any new videos. Now, if you'd rather listen to the podcast, you can find it on all the major platforms such as iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and even Spotify. Now, if you're looking for more resources on how to start a plant-based diet, sustain a plant-based diet, exercise, recipes, anything regarding wellness, we've got you covered. Check out healthyhumanrevolution.com. And again, thanks for watching.